What's going on, guys? I'm John.
And I'm Travis.
We're the 406 boys back again with another video, and this is episode 10. Episode 10 of 406 boys, HauntTober.
Oh, sorry. I was just lobotomized last night.
What?
Yeah, I'm a little spacey.
Anyway, in today's episode, I'll let Travis explain what we're doing.
So what we're doing for this one is we're talking about our first experiences we had to various horror films, like a memorable experience from watching a certain horror film. Like, what was your first, what was it like when you saw Carrie, for instance? Was there any stories that had to do with watching that for the first time, or Friday the 13th, or Nightmare on Elm Street? Basically, we just have our own sort of unique stories of watching certain horror films for the first time.
So I guess without further ado, let's get right into it.
The first one is going to be kind of a two-parter since different times, but sort of similar stories. Was my first experience watching Prom Night, which was one of the first horror films that I saw in theaters. And what I liked about that one is that it was largely a packed theater, and how everyone was kind of jumping and screaming at everything that was supposed to be scary. When I remember I liked the film when I first saw it just because of the experience, but when watching the film again, it really was not a good movie, but the experience was actually fun. Along with that, the 2009 Friday the 13th film being my first R-rated film that I've seen in theaters. Again, another packed theater, and though the movie was not that great either, I think the experience in that one was even better than Prom Night, because there were people that were laughing at the things that were supposed to kind of be funny, jumped at things that were supposed to be scary, had one moment where it was silent, and had one guy in the middle of the theater just yell, "Boo!" and everyone screamed, and then they immediately laughed at the fact that they just jumped at their own shadows.
Yeah.
And the most memorable thing is, because I had friends from high school come and watch this movie, and when guy was pissing on the weed plants, I remember one guy was like, "Are you out of your mind?"
That's funny. So my first one is when I saw Halloween for the first time. When I saw Halloween for the first time, I can't remember, I think I was
in middle school when I first saw it, like 14 when I saw it.
Yeah.
We're talking about the original, right?
Yeah, the original. Okay. So I was probably 8th grade.
Yeah, I think that was the one where we were old enough where our mother was like, "All right, we're gonna start introducing you to more horror films since you're..."
Yeah, so I was probably 7th or 8th grade. Anyway, what I remember from it is at the time it was actually pretty creepy and very eerie and scary at the time. And now it's not really scary. It's just very eerie and still creepy, but it's not very scary, I would say, but it's gives me the heebie-jeebies still. But I remember, I guess that my story with it is watching it with my family for the first time, and my mom explaining what's going on and stuff like that. So I remember watching it with my family. So
yeah. The next one will be when I saw The Devil Inside with a friend, and I don't remember if you went with us or if you went another time.
I believe I was with you.
Okay. So what happened was that we were given the tickets, and we thought that we got the times wrong, but we were given the tickets for the next showing. So we got our stuff, and we went in, and we walked in at the last 10 minutes of the movie. And we were confused by this and thought, "Oh, dude, were we given the wrong time? Well, let's just sit down." So we went into the back row and just kind of sat down and just watched the rest of the movie. And watching this, I was like, that was a horrible ending or whatever. I haven't seen the movie even. So when the credits rolled and it was over, we were sitting there as an usher was coming by, cleaning by, confirmed that we were in for the next showing. I don't think he knew that we went into the theater or whatever, and none of us said anything. So we saw that we were in the one for the next showing, cleaned up, and he left.
Yeah.
And we just saw the rest of the movie, and the movie was just horrible. And
yeah, it was terrible.
it's actually at the point where I would consider Devil Inside to have the worst ending I have seen to a movie.
Yeah. So this one I remember seeing for the first time also when I was a little bit younger, and it scarred me for life. It gave me what is called pediophobia, which is the fear of dolls, because it was so terrifying for me, and it gave me an experience. I watched this with my mom as well, and I also watched this in the dark, and it gave me a atmosphere where I watched this in the dark, and it was just a scary movie to me, and it shook me to my core, and it was just terrifying to me. And there was one scene in particular that just really solidified what really gave me the phobia for me. And
was it the one where they like went in the attic and there was like a bunch of dolls or something?
No, it was the one with the crawl space.
Oh, the crawl space.
Yeah, the crawl space scene is really what solidified the phobia of dolls for me.
Which, by the way, can we solidify that we should get rid of crawl spaces?
Yeah, I'll never go near a crawl space, but that's my story with Dead Silence. Is I watched it with my mom, and I'm not saying anything against my mom for letting me watch this, because it was my choice to watch it, and I was in like middle school when I watched it.
And it was by the same people that some of the same people that did Saw, so it was somewhat
So anyway.
Okay, so before we go to the final one, we're going to be talking about each of our experiences watching the movie Barbarian. And as a little disclaimer, since this is one where you kind of have to experience it and can't say much about it, we're going to have to get into a major spoiler in the movie. So just need to emphasize, if you have not seen Barbarian, do not watch the rest of this. Wait until you watch that movie and come back and watch this or whatever.
Yep.
Because I feel that the less you know about this movie going in, the better.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I remember watching the trailer and thinking it was just going to be a typical home invasion type movie.
Yeah.
And about halfway into the movie, when we go into the basement for the first time, and there's like this dungeon-like thing, at first you're kind of thinking that Bill Skarsgård is the bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I ultimately thought. It's like, oh, it's him, I knew it.
And then they do the ultimate bait and switch, where you see this giant gargantuan chick, just completely naked, full-on sprinting from the dark, screaming or whatever, while killing Bill Skarsgård. I remember I was with my sister and mother first, and when we were saying, don't, that's a trap, don't go there. And then we saw her running out, and my sister full-on screamed out, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
And then afterwards, just completely frozen in fear, just shocked at what we experienced for about 2 minutes. And either my sister or mother just blurted out of silence, "What the fuck just happened right there?"
And I remember I was with my brother, and I remember...
Yeah, because I took him to it, because I wanted him to experience it.
And I remember I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, like, he turned to me and was like, "It's Bill Skarsgård. He's the killer." I knew it. Then when this happened, he jumped from his seat, and he was like, "What was that? What was that?" So... because of that, I would say that out of all the first experiences I've had, this would have to be probably the best experience that I've had for any horror film that I have seen in a theater.
So those were our experiences with some of the movies. There's obviously many other movies that we can probably name, and maybe we'll name them in a future video. But if you want to listen to other videos in the series, watch out for Monday, and also Saturday I have my birthday live stream on the channel. So I'm having a birthday live stream on the channel. If you want to tune into that, that'll probably be around 8:30 Mountain Time. So if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this video and you want to see episode 11 of the HauntTober series, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, turn on notifications so you get notified when we upload a new video. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Travis.
The406boys. See ya.
Watch out for the boogeyman.
What?